All right, strap in because this one's going to be good. Now, a common question. If God is so good, then why does God allow bad things to happen to good people? Great question. And it boils down to two very simple words: free will. Now, humanity has the choice to do good or bad things to each other. We have the choice to do anything we want to do within the parameters of the universe. Well, when God created humanity, He gave us that ability to choose, that free will. And everything that has happened up until this point in the timeline dates back to the very beginning of civilization. Everything we're dealing with now is a direct reflection and a direct unraveling of all the events that have led up to this point, starting at the beginning. All the different weather patterns, all the different natural disasters, all the different political regimes, religions that have spawned, everything. Everything that happened at the very beginning, and all the choices that we as humans made to influence nature, to influence each other in various ways, physically, mentally, emotionally, all those events have unfolded and had a chain reaction up until this point in history. Now that we have context for why humanity has unfolded the way it has, let's add a bit of pre-context. Let's take it back a step even further. Okay, so before all the physical events that have happened in this world, let's look at how reality works, how our world works within the context of reality. Now, before I give you this info, let's just say that it is my opinion. I would never harm myself. I'm just a guy on the internet. I don't know anything. Take everything that I say with a grain of salt. I'm just an idiot, just spouting ideas. Take it as you will. Now, this world is bound by the laws of reality. Not just the laws of physics, which also are bound by the laws of reality, but we are bound by this reality. This reality is and isn't a simulation. Now, I know what you're thinking probably. Conspiracy theories. This is another guy talking about this world being a simulation. We're all just virtual computer-generated models just speaking in computer code. No, that's not what I think. What I believe is that we are an organic simulation. This physical realm isn't the end-all be-all of reality. To put it into a bit of perspective, consider a video game. Maybe you play something like Animal Crossing, Grand Theft Auto, The Sims. In that world, when you're playing Grand Theft Auto and you see the characters walking around, talking to each other, living their own lives in their world, their reality, to them that may be everything. And if they have any form of higher intelligence programmed into them, they may question, why am I here? How did I get here? How did all of this get here? And they're down here questioning, running about, wondering all these things. When in reality, we are up here. We know how they got there. We programmed them. We program their logic. We program their physics. We program their soundtracks, their character models, everything. We know all about them because we created them. But they may not have the wherewithal to understand everything that's going on up here. Likewise, we are just like those characters in the video game. just like those characters in Grand Theft Auto, in The Sims, in Animal Crossing. We're down here running around, bound by our own physics, our own logic, our own understanding of science. And we're wondering, is this all an accident? How do we get here? Did something create us? And we argue amongst ourselves, not knowing that there very well may be another higher form of intelligence that programmed us, programmed our physics, programmed our logic that we're bound by. See, you take us and you take the characters in the video game. We created the parameters for their world. They're bound by it, but we're not, and we understand everything that they may not understand. Likewise, we are down here. There's nothing stopping another life form from being more intelligent than us, that's not bound by our physics, not bound by the time-space continuum. And it knows everything that we're wondering about. Consider that possibility. Now also consider this. Going back to the beginning of the video. Free will. If God's so good, then why do bad things happen to good people? Much like in the video game analogy, we as the programmers, we set the rules and the parameters for how the game works. Then the game is set into motion, and we're not running around controlling all the little characters on the screen, pulling the strings one by one and making them do everything they do. We program the logic by which the characters act, and they're doing what they're doing. We set it into motion and we let it be. Likewise, God gave us the logic and the parameters by which our universe works. And he set everything into motion and he let it be. Now some people will say, what about prayer? Great question. God gave us the ability to pray, which ties into free will. And if we pray, we can call upon God, we can call upon the programmer to step in and intervene from time to time. But if we don't pray, then God has no reason to step in and interfere with what he created. He put it into motion. He's not going to interfere without us asking for it. And even if we do ask for certain things, those prayers do have to fit into the parameters, generally, of our universe. I can make another video in detail about that. But for now, we're just focused on free will and the parameters of our universe. God is not non-existent. God is not evil. It's just how the universe works. Much like how we can look at a video game. If you're a programmer, you're a computer scientist, you program these video games, and you look at how the characters behave in the game, that doesn't mean that just because you don't interfere with everything that's going on in Animal Crossing, in The Sims, in Grand Theft Auto, that doesn't mean that the programmer doesn't exist. That doesn't mean that the programmer doesn't know what's going on. Same here. It doesn't mean that in our world, when things go wrong, that God doesn't exist and God doesn't know what's going on. He set the parameters, chose to not interfere, and let us do our thing. Now, if I can end this video on a positive note, free will is a good thing. And I'm glad that we have free will because it allows for 4 different options. Let's just say this, we have 4 different options here. We have free will, and we don't have free will, and we do bad and we do good. Okay, so let's look at all these four. Let's look at these four combinations together. If we don't have goodwill, if we don't have free will, and we do bad things, then we're just evil slaves, evil robots. If we don't have free will and we do good things, that's good, I guess, but we're also just slaves. We're just robots. If we do have free will and we do bad things, we may be evil, or at least slightly evil, temporarily, depending on how evil you are. We may be doing bad things, but we at least had the choice. Now, the last option is that if we have free will and we choose to do good, that is the only potential option in which we're capable of love. That is the only possible universe, the only possible timeline in which love can exist, when we have free will and we choose to do good. If we don't have free will, then love doesn't exist. Now, reality has its trade-offs, but I like to think that having the possibility, even just having the possibility of love, is worth all the drawbacks that come with free will. That's all I got on that today. If this helped you in any way, if this put your mind at ease, helped you understand reality a bit more, I'm glad. If you don't believe anything that I'm saying and didn't catch the analogies, didn't catch the metaphors, then that's fine. I'm just a bumbling idiot on the internet, and I don't know anything, and I would never harm myself. With that said, have a nice day. I love you, stay blessed, and go out and show some love the best way you know how. All right? Peace out.